What's up guys, welcome back to Destiny Updates. Just like the last two Bungie weekly updates in my previous video, I've missed two Destiny drawing boards while working on that big analysis of the Moon trailer. The first one being the Silver Dollar MK.35 shotgun, and the second was the fusion rifle Conduit F3. Now I was actually waiting for this week's drawing board to be released, that way I could do all three in one and not spam you guys, but it seems that Deej wasn't able to get one ready, since him and Urk are off in Europe. Anyways, I'm gonna try to just highlight the most interesting parts and not let the video get too long, but we'll see. Starting with the Silver Dollar, Tom Doyle says, "This thing has been to hell and back." Then Deej shows a piece of concept art we've seen before. After that, he says that a shotgun is more than a weapon, it's an icon, and that the Silver Dollar is as relatable as a lucky coin. He also mentions the old ride shotgun expression. After which he shows us a slightly older piece of concept art. He then says that these shotguns are quite common and known for their reliability, but that doesn't stop you from making it your own, saying that sturdy frame can accommodate all of your favorite attachments and accessories. Tom Doyle adds, "This custom build is equipped with a catcher and 4-cartridge sidecar." So that's pretty cool. It sounds like the extra cartridges on the stock and the catcher are add-ons made by the player. Now I actually had to look up what a catcher was, because I hadn't heard of it before. Basically, it's this thing on the side which catches the spent shell casings. I'm wondering if such an attachment will have an actual impact. I mean, the whole point of having a catcher on your gun is to collect the spent casings and then recycle them. So if we have this equipped, could we possibly give the empty casings back to a vendor and get a discount on our ammunition purchase? I think that'd be super cool, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, moving on, here's 3 work-in-progress concepts with various changes and customizations. After that, Deej talks about how it'll tell your story, but I think we've heard kind of enough of that. However, Doyle does add something kind of interesting. He says, "The paint scheme implies it has seen action near the evacuation site for the last colony ships that escaped the collapse." So that seems to indicate that some customizations, such as the paint scheme, are quite rare, and weapons with that particular look can only be found in a specific spot, in this case the evacuation site. I guess that's kind of standard, but I never really thought about having rare paint schemes before. Continuing, here's another work-in-progress image, further along this time. The rest isn't particularly interesting, except for this near-final first-person view of the shotgun. I think it looks really cool, kind of a mix of old-fashioned and modern. To end this one, Deej of course said that Destiny is a work in progress and all items, details, names, and pieces of random trivia are subject to change or obliteration due to an overdose of buckshot. I like pointing those out every week because it's always fun to see how Deej has changed it for that specific weapon. Anyways, let's move over to the Conduit F3, a faction-specific fusion rifle, the faction in question being the Future War Cult. Fusion rifles seem like an SMG-style weapon to me. They're a bit smaller and they fit into the special weapon slot, same as the shotgun actually. But getting into the post, it begins with Tom Doyle, as always, saying, "The Future War Cult's newest addition to its faction line." This is the first time we're getting any info on faction-specific weapons. And while the post doesn't add any more, I think it's safe to say that there will be many faction-specific weapons, only available to members of that specific faction, of course. I imagine the faction-specific guns will be like any other gun variant, offering some degree of cosmetic and practical customizations and upgrades to the weapons. Hopefully they'll each bring something unique to their weapons, a certain style or theme, besides the logo. Anyways, continuing with the drawing board, Deej says that some deal in lead, as in bullets, and then there are others who prefer alternate forms. Continuing with, "If a mass driver doesn't suit you, a weapon like the Conduit F3 may be more your style. With new tech, however, comes fresh risk." After which we get a first-person view of the rifle, definitely looking quite sci-fi and pretty epic. And then Jonathan Goff, an expert on Guardian Militaria apparently, comes in saying, "Advances in directed energy disbursement were gained through dissection of hostile tech gathered in the field. The first implementation of this new technology comes in the form of fusion rifles." Then we see 9 variations of the fusion rifle in concept form, with a variety of stocks, scopes, attachments, and customizations. After that, we get a bit more info on the dangers of this weapon, with Jonathan saying, "One of the first working prototypes was deemed too unstable for mass production. Despite the concerns over faulty radiation shielding, the weapon's incredible power has made it a favorite of daring weapon collectors." If we continue on through, Deej says that some of these problems have been solved on the newer generations. Tom Doyle comes back in to say, "The barrel configuration on this model dampens the wattage use needed to power the inertial chamber. Its over-penetrating burst fire is ideal for taking out multiple targets at once." That all sounds quite cool. I quite like it when they get a bit more technical with it. Makes it sound more interesting. Anyways, in between all of that was this sweet looking untextured model of the fusion rifle. And then after it is another first person view. This time it looks like it's charging up or something though, as it has this awesome lightning effect and the core is all glowing. Deej adds at the end, "The Conduit F3 is next generation hardware for killing the bad guys who deserve it. Charge it up and let it off the chain." And then of course ending with the usual Destiny is a work in progress, and all items, details, names, and pieces of random trivia are subject to change or complete and total discontinuation in the face of fatalist risk assessment. So let's hope the fusion rifle doesn't kill one of its testers and get discontinued. So that's everything for this video. Once again, sorry for being so late on these. I hope you don't mind too much and the analysis was worth it. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.